Do you guys see the stuff that's going on in Ohio right now?
Yes,
That is
that is
crazy.
that is unbelievable. Actually, I can't believe it.
I did not. I'm
So
out of the loop.
essentially, can I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
So there was a train that derailed in Ohio, kind of similar what happened to Mississauga back in what was it, the 80s or the 90s?
Yep.
It derailed. A bunch of chemicals were on that train, and the basically and they were spilling out in the waterways, and like these chemicals were like they were killing like fish and all these like really deadly stuff, kill humans, get the
Cancer.
yeah, you get cancer and all this stuff. So the officials there made the decision to essentially light it on fire and burn it
Control burn.
Oh,
control burn, and
You didn't see this?
it's an intense
I
burn.
didn't know they did the control burn.
It's
Oh,
like
wow.
an intense burn, and
Insane.
it is like you look at pictures of this stuff, it's crazy.
I saw the person who flew over on a commercial flight, and they took a picture of the site. It's like literally like a black hole.
It's unbelievable, and there's a lot of people that are basically like it was I think the name of the place is East Palestine, Ohio.
Palestine, I think.
Palestine, Ohio.
What type of chemicals or where was it going? Was it part of a certain industry?
Yeah, that's apocalyptic.
That's insane.
That's the control burn that they did.
Yeah.
Wow.
And people are arguing about it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see how it plays out. It has already killed a lot of fish, a lot of wildlife in the area. I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable to say that'll probably affect the people health wise in the areas that surround around that train. I think that I'm not sure if this is correct, but I think the company that made the chemicals gave out a voucher to all the residents that live in the area, and the voucher amounted to about $5 a person.
Oh, wow.
So, as a goodwill move, but I don't know if that went over so well.
Yeah. It's insane. So the train was traveling. So about an hour or 2 hours before. So what happened was the train's like brake caliper or something like that overheated, and there's actually video of it in Salem, Pennsylvania, which is like an hour or 2 hours away, of it like sparking, and like I don't know if there were no checks like that the conductor had,
Well,
and then it just.
I also read that there was some recent legislation that removed safety standards,
Whoa.
and Republican, I'm not sure if it was state legislators or not, but they blatantly voted to relax the safety standards for the
Wow.
transportation of chemicals on the
I would
railway.
assume trains are federally regulated.
Yeah,
because
so
they're,
maybe perhaps federally,
Yeah.
and this could be a direct result of that deregulation.
That's madness.
That's a spicy meatball right there.
Well, what's also crazy is that the government told residents to go back, that it's safe. They told them to go back, it's safe, drink the tap water, it's fine. And then people were like, that's messed up. And now there's all these class action lawsuits going on. And now the government's saying, you know what, you should drink bottled water instead.
Oh, I didn't
Like,
know about that.
Yeah, so that's where.
I think
Sorry, go ahead.
I think there's 15 million people in the area. I think that that could be affected.
Yeah.
So
And like 5,000 fish are dead.
So just imagine the Chernobyl, which kind of sounds like was one of the reasons why the Soviet Union fell. There's many, but it was one of kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. Because how can you have trust in a government to protect you if you can allow something like Chernobyl to happen? So there may be some of that here.
Yeah.
Now, who knows what administration was in charge whenever these? Because I think the hook is that they relaxed safety regulations.
Yes.
So this could have much wider effects than we see right now, because right now we're still in the disaster phase, and we're still learning what's happening. It's still ongoing, right?
Yes.
So once this is relatively over, let's say the immediate emergency, what will be interesting to see is the wider political implications, because these things can bring down governments, federal governments, right? Because how could you trust your government if you can't, if there's a train track going through your community, like it's legitimate to say, I don't know if I want chemical trains or, any kind of hazardous material going through my community anymore. And how do you trust, the government at a very minimum? I think the very basic purpose of a government before it does any like welfare, healthcare. It's safety.
Mhm.
Sure.
Stop people from invading and make sure I don't get
Domestic
killed
terrorism.
by something or terrorism, or make sure,
Air quality.
air
and
quality, like basic
food,
stuff,
Yeah.
keep me safe.
Yeah.
And if, that's, again, we don't know right now, we're still in it, but the potential implications could be a lot wider than what we currently see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree. I think that we had a huge oil spill. I'm sure you remember the BP oil spill back
Yeah.
during Obama's administration. That was insane.
Yeah.
It took months.
Offshore though, it didn't kill.
I mean, it didn't kill people, and it maybe wasn't necessarily impacted the health of people, but it impacted people's lives right along the Louisiana, Mississippi, all the Florida Panhandle, all like right up the coast, and fish were dying. Tourism was done for a long time, and I feel like they just found scapegoats, within BP and the other companies associated, and held those people accountable. I mean, all those people are still in power, and
Yeah.
they all had lawsuits against them. I don't know if this is that big. It is a lot of people, and it's a huge
Has anyone
thing.
died yet? Like, have any humans died? Presumably, people in the plane crash. I'm
know.
not sure, but outside of the train crash, but like, have any locals?
I don't
No,
know.
so that's one of the big concerns. So similar to 9/11 is that when you go and Google like 9/11 deaths, it's just the people in the towers. Like first responders are still dying
Still dying.
today, right? So and it doesn't include that. And so that's the concern with Ohio. It's that 50 train cars derailed. They did a control burn. We won't know for the next 20 years the total death count.
But in the immediate crash, just did
I don't think so.
Don't know. I know it's a pretty rural area.
yeah.
I'm going to say there were none, but let's find out. Yeah.
Too bad ChatGPT stops at 2021.
Is it 2021?
Yeah, that's what
Oh.
it says.
And it just never keeps growing?
It just, for some reason,
That's
it
weird.
can't go beyond 2021. I don't know.
That's what's yeah. So they're not saying any deaths, but it's like they're so Business Insider says this is Chernobyl-Lite. Ohio train derailment is comparable to a nuclear disaster.